Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Friday Gear Show. Today I'm going to be taking a look back at the Lattice Lite plan that I've recently completed. I'm going to be answering some of your guys' questions and telling you what I think of the plan. So Lattice is a training and coaching company set up by Ollie Tor and Tom Randall. They've spent years collecting and analysing climbing and training data and have a huge knowledge and expertise base to pull from. Now there's a variety of different Lattice options you can do if you want to get into climbing training. The simplest is just to download the free crimped app, and there are exercises on that, but it is at a basic level. If you want to step things up a bit, there's lots of options, including the below the budget premium plan with personalised one-on-one training. Now on the EpicTV shop, we sell the Lattice Lite plan for the bargain price of €160, and for that you get a Lattice training rung as well. So that means you get a personalised plan, all the testing and assessment information, and a 20mm edge with a pull-up section on top. So you can train at home as well as the gym if that suits you better. Now, we filmed a lot of the process and I vlogged a lot of the process, including that first assessment day. So here's how it went. So we've got the Lattice rung set up here. I'm just going to do some dead hangs, a few pull-ups, using the jugs and the finger rail itself, just to get my fingers going and moving, then do a bit of stretching and crack on with it. So I've done a bit of this before. I reckon I'm going to start at 30 kilograms. So I've got my sling. I'm just going to put it through the weights. Try not to crack EpicTV's tile floor. So I've got 30 kilograms attached. I'm going to attach the sling to my harness. Yeah, that feels nice and balanced. A little bit of chalk just so I don't slip off it. I'm going for two, I can't actually reach the board, 2 full pull-ups. Okay. Ready? 1, 2. Okay, so I feel like I've got quite a long way more I can add to that. So 3-minute rest, add some more weight, try again, try to get to that maximum. So once I completed that initial assessment, I sent the results off to Lattice, and I had to fill in a form where I put the results in it, but also I put how much time I have, the kind of facilities I have available, and my aim goal. The Lattice assessor then looks at the results, they look at all my goals and targets, and they work out my strengths and weaknesses and give me a plan with a series of exercises based on that. You get the whole 12 weeks laid out with the exercises you have to do per week, and it's up to you how you organise them into your schedule. Now, to help you with this, Lattice have just updated their app, and you can now put the training plan onto the app. So you can select and tick off exercises each week so you know where you're at. The app itself, I'm super impressed with. It's very nice, nicely laid out, nice and clear, and it's got some cool little features, including that beep, beep, beep timer function on the app, so you know where you're at during the exercises. And each exercise has a video showing you what to do. Now, this is really useful because occasionally you get an exercise that you've never done before, and the app allows you to watch it and therefore do it properly when you're trying to do it. It's a great little feature, and the whole app is a lovely little package now. So, armed with my vlogging camera, I set off on my training journey. Couple of seconds off on that one. Couple of seconds off. Bit disappointed with myself. Got to try harder for the next one. Man, I'm struggling today. I tried to film as much of the process as possible, fitting it into training and EpicTV jobs, and you can see those videos on my YouTube channel, which is linked down below. Now, about halfway through the 12 weeks, I had to do another assessment to see if I got any stronger and how to adapt the plan. Here's how it went. Okay. I'm going to try to go up a bit more, but I think that might be my limit. I might add one on. That was real hard. Right, 38.5. I had to go with that because of the weights. 18 seconds. That was right on the edge. Very chuffed by that. But it's not really just about the numbers, it's how I feel overall. And I was beginning to feel a little bit like a proper athlete. I had a training schedule, I was feeling strong and fit, and everyone kept commenting on the fact that I was getting better. I find it quite tricky sometimes when you go training because you walk into a climbing wall, you sort of do some half-hearted warm-ups, some half-hearted exercises, you go climbing with your mates, you finish off with some pull-ups and then you go home. But having a proper schedule to follow meant that I was better at training. I knew I had to fit in, I knew I just had to get on with it, and it was never too hard for me. We'll talk about scheduling with some of your questions in a couple of seconds. However, on the final week of the program, I hit a slight stumbling block. I got this little sort of niggle in one of my fingers, and I spoke to Tom and he recommended that I just rest it for a bit. However, the resting it for a week coincided with COVID and it all got shut down and got very hectic. So I've yet to actually complete my final assessment. So I reckon a second round of Lattice training is in order, and I'm gonna have to do another 12 weeks at the end of this one to properly tick it off and aim for my 8A boulder goal. But I did feel at the end of that process that honestly, if I had gone on a trip right then, if I could have, I really would have had a chance at that 8A boulder. I've never felt so strong, I've never felt so good, and the parts of my body that were naggy or injured, for example my shoulders, had really improved during that process. There were some exercises like stretching that I never bothered to do, that Lattice forced me to do. The campus board exercises, the stabilization stuff on your shoulder, the ring work. It's just opened up this whole new world of training to me that I did not know before. And that is my single biggest recommendation for that program. You will get better as an athlete and as a climber. You really do if you follow it properly and dedicate yourself to it. That's a lot better.
Yeah.
Nice, mate.
Boom.
I hope. We'll find out in a minute. Nice. 70. Yo.
Okay, now earlier in the week we put out a call on Instagram for some of your questions, so I'm going to try to answer a few of them. So the first question is from Gabba Cook Ruth. I think that's how you pronounce it. And he's saying, was it harder than you thought it would be? No, kind of the opposite actually. It really eases you into the whole process. And I've been training quite hard previously, but probably in the wrong way. So they build you up slowly. It does ramp up, it does get more intense, but never to a point where I felt I couldn't cope. Yeah, I was lucky that period of time. I didn't have many trips, I wasn't away a lot. I could focus on the gym. But the exercises never felt out of reach and it never felt too much for me. couple of hours, maybe 4 times a week. I could fit all the exercises in, and then a few of them you can easily do at home, for example, the core stuff, and I just woggle those exercises in where it was easier. So no, not too hard, in fact, totally manageable. So the next question is from Michael, and he's saying, what is your favorite exercises? Well, by far my favorite exercise was the boulder triple. And don't get confused because there are different boulder triple exercises, I think. The one I'm talking about is the, you climb a boulder, you rest a minute, you climb it again, you rest a minute. And that boulder has to be hard. You do that 3 times, then you move on to the next boulder, and there's 6 boulders in total. Really aggressive, physical climbing. You never properly had a chance to rest. You're living right on the limit. For power endurance, that was by far my favorite.
"60 seconds.
Epic Betsy said, was it easy to motivate yourself? Super easy. Honestly, I find it best when I have a goal. I find sort of aimless training, climbing to be quite difficult. I knew I wanted that AA. I knew I had to put in 12 weeks of hard work, and I knew because I was filming it that there was quite a lot of pressure to actually get it done. So I never lacked motivation. Climbing is my life. I don't really have another life outside of climbing, so it was everything for me. So for me, it was very easy to get motivated. I can understand how you might struggle with that. If I was living in a city with a very, very busy social life, I would struggle. But I need to go to the gym, you know? If I spend a day at work in front of a computer, if I don't get out, I go crazy. Final question is from Gillyback, and it's saying, how has lockdown affected the training or affected Lattice? Well, this is a tricky question because loads of you have been answering this and I can't really answer it, but I know a man who can. So, Tom Randall, how does lockdown affect training and how can we adapt it?
Hi Matt, there's a few different approaches that we're taking with the home training plans at the moment, and obviously it's a really difficult situation for people because they have had a lot of their facilities taken away and really the kind of game has changed. And in terms of the light plans themselves, we've done 2 things with this. Firstly is that with the light plans, you have now a PDF document that we have released. It's been out for a while actually. So for anyone who's currently on light plans and is affected by the current situation, or anyone who's going onto a light plan, they have a document which explains to them how they can swap out any of the current training that's in a light plan. There's a grid within there, like a matrix, which explains how you swap out any type of energy system, campus work, bouldering work, energy system, aerocap, so that you can do those on facilities which are typically found at home. So you have a sort of a swap out for it. We have the Facebook community page, which is a really good kind of crowdsourced source of information. There's a lot of really knowledgeable people in there. There's a number of Lattice coaches that are in there. I'm active in there daily, and they can ask questions and get kind of guidance and feedback on what they're doing to adapt their home training. And lastly is that if anyone is going on to a new light plan at present, it's because everything's custom built by us here and we look at the goals that people have, how much time they have, what facilities they have, we can build part of that plan out to be suitable for home facilities. So for example, if you're doing a 12-week light plan and you're thinking, right, I am going to do 4 weeks probably at home on lockdown still, but after that I want to go back to the gym and it's looking really likely I'm going to do that, you can just put in your forms to your coach, I want my first 4 weeks of my plan built so that it's just carried out at home. These are the facilities I have. The next 8 weeks, I want them done in a gym, and those are the facilities. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of an unknown in terms of exact time that you're going to get access to your gym, but even if you get it out and you're slightly wrong by a couple of weeks, you have that full PDF guide, which allows you to swap things out and explains how to do that. And everything can be executed within the Crimped app itself. So you have the whole training plan sits within the app, and you can record everything in there. Everything should always fit to the circumstance of what someone needs. So if you just go onto the website, and even if you look at anything and you're unsure whether it directly works for your circumstance, just email us. So if you're following a light plan and you're thinking, I'm not quite sure whether I could do this on just a fingerboard, TheraBand and floor space, we'll be able to email you back or have a conversation about it and make sure that that is appropriate for you. So it's very, very easy for us to discuss that. You don't have to just immediately go all in and not know whether it's okay. We're here on the end of an email and we can chat that through. So I hope that's really helpful for everyone and they get stuck in with their plans.
Yeah.
So there you go. Hopefully that answers some of your questions, and thank you, Tom, for taking the time to speak to me. We are selling all the Lattice plans on the EpicTV shop, but the second they come into stock, they go very quickly. So if you want to get your hands on one of those Lattice plan deals with the training rung, click on the link below and check it out. We've also got a few other products, including that Lattice pinch block and crimp thing that I'm going to do a more detailed video on in the future, but it looks so cool. I cannot wait to try that. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on my journey. Thanks for following along on the vlogs, all the nice comments on that, and of course on EpicTV. Feel free to drop me any more questions on Instagram or something like that, or on the comments below if I haven't answered what you wanted to know. I do recommend the plan. It's been fantastic, and it's a little investment in yourself as a climber. That's the best way I can describe it. So thank you very much for Lattice for letting me do that. Cheers for EpicTV. Have an amazing weekend on lockdown, and I'll see you next week.